Oh, this is so off task and not what I came in here to do at all. But Liam really wants to share this one with you. And this is way better warm up tunes than what I started out with. Those are just too mellow to get cranked. Okay, here we go. My name's Sue. I'm an alcoholic. My name's Liam. I'm a drug addict. I drank and used drugs for 25 years. I've been clean and in recovery for 18. I'm just here to make suggestions. Hopefully, sharing my experience will help you if you're struggling with an addiction. If you like any of what happens today, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified about upcoming content, you can hit the bell button. Our topic today, relative truth. I feel like I need to qualify some things I said in episode 1 through 4, and I want to lay a foundation qualifying everything I say from now on. Goal and purpose of this vlog is just to share suggestions based on my own personal experience as an addict in recovery. The qualifying blanket over everything I've said or say in the future. I am only speaking from my personal experience. Everything I put out there is meant as suggestions, regardless of how I frame it or how I say it. All I'm doing is offering my experience. Take it or leave it. If you take it, maybe you'll find a path to recovery. If you leave it, maybe you will, maybe you won't. That's not my deal. All I can do is broadcast my seeds, and hopefully some of them will take. Okay, I'm ditching the puppet. I'm ditching vanity about the glasses. For now, I'm going to cheat off notes and throw out some main points. Number one, the reason that I'm qualifying the videos and some things that I've said, because I'm very personally skeptical and argumentative about different things people say, and in case you are that way, I want to qualify the things I've said so maybe you won't be put off by some of my foundational concepts or some things that I throw out like they're facts. All I really have is suggestions based on my personal experience, and even my personal experience is based on memories, and my memory is really very suspect. I'm making suggestions based on my own personal experience. You can take them or leave them. They worked for me. I'm in recovery now. I'm staying in recovery successfully for 18 years. Hopefully I'll still be in recovery tomorrow. I'm only working it one day at a time. I, in one of the earlier vlogs, said that over half of America is struggling with some sort of addiction. I think I'm going to do a graphic breaking down my numbers and how I came up with the over 50%. And on top of mathing out that statistic, I'm not even including the people who are affected by loved ones and friends who are directly affected by an addiction. So I'm not including any of the people, for example, that are in Al-Anon who have alcoholics that they're struggling with. Also didn't include any research on a lot of other addictions or addictive behaviors. Didn't mention anything about workaholics. And I've stepped in workaholism before, so I do believe it falls in the addiction category. I didn't say anything about nicotine addiction or cigarette addiction or caffeine addiction. The cigarettes and the coffee are still on my to-do list. I'm not a victor over them yet. I have successfully overcome the cigarettes for short windows. My longest window was 7 months. And then the insanity of that, I'm just going to have one cigarette and boom, I'm back in. There are a number of reasons that I'm comfortable with the statistics and the way I've mapped it out. Even if those statistics are inflated or high, I'm inclined to believe that they are actually underrepresenting the numbers because of the secrecy that shrouds addiction. I don't know exactly where people are getting these numbers from anyway. I'm also basing them on educated guesses and research. I am a lifelong learner. I've been doing a lot of research about addiction and how the brain works and how people function within society. I love everything to do with psychology and sociology, so I've really kind of gobbled up all resources I can get my hands on about those topics. I'm just an addict who gets off on those things, and I've done a lot of research, so part of my foundation for it. And I tend in my research to glom on to things that corroborate what's been my own personal experience. So if I read something that says that your brain is wired a certain way, and that once you damage pleasure center receptors, that you're going to keep trying to get pleasure from those receptors, but be unable to because they've been ground down. I'm going to glom onto that because based on my own personal experience, that seems to be what happened. Oh, rigorous honesty. Part of my life in recovery is that I've got to be totally honest as I can be on any given day with myself and with other people. But I am also an entertainer and a comedian, and I'm trying to incorporate some jokes. Here's where it gets kind of sticky. Stand-up comedy, which really is more of a storytelling based on truth. Most of my jokes are based on some kind of personal experience, but I've respun them or tweaked them or maybe exaggerated them. The only reason I'm bringing all of that up so that you won't think I'm treating you like a dolt whenever I tell a joke and then I'm like, that was a joke. It's not that I think that you're too dumb to get a joke. It's that I really want to make it clear when I'm just talking recovery and facts and when I'm trying to fun it up a little. And I know fun it up is not a grammatically correct phrase, but I'm going to do what I want because I make words my bitches. Words are my bitches. A premise that I'm going to put out there in the near future, if I haven't already. Addiction is a dis-ease. It's a disease, that it's a treatable disease. It's a self-diagnosed disease. You're going to be the only one, if you have a problem, who can say you have a problem. And I'm going to unpack all of those in more detail in later episodes. Not happening today. It's because I was dicking around with the puppet and the guitar and having a blast. Recovery. I put out in one of the earlier vlogs that recovery is simple, quick, easy, free. All of that is relatively speaking. For some people, it's not going to be free. You're going to have to pay for treatment. Treatment facilities cost money, but the path that I was going to try to help people get on is a relatively free path. And the simple, quick, easy, all relative. For me, in retrospect, getting in and getting a modicum of recovery on the front happened relatively quickly. When I was in the middle of it, did not feel like it was happening quickly or easily or simply, but compared to the struggle with the addiction, ways. Thanks for coming. Appreciate your time. I know it's valuable. Hope you decide to come back next week. Joy, peace, freedom, a lot of promises in recovery. Let me put my Renaissance halo back on. I'm in a painting with my halo.